What's good, you guys? Another episode of the Ranveer Show, but this episode was my personal favorite till date. This is a man I've always wanted to speak with, not just because he's one of the top actors in the country today, but because he's one of the most inspiring, most articulate human beings you'll ever come across. He switched to his acting career only after the age of 35. So up till then, he's actually tried a lot of different careers and he's found success even there. Out of all the people I've met in my entire career, this man is the most humble. There's a lot to learn from him, but I'll tell you what's even more beautiful about him. When I'm doing a podcast, I keep trying to go deep with all my guests, but not everyone is able to go really deep. Boman Irani's answers were even deeper than the questions that I had for him. So if you're up for a very deep, stimulating conversation, if you want to add a lot of layers to your own mind, watch the entire podcast. You're going to come out of this podcast a completely different human being. This is one of those conversations where even I learned a lot, so I can't imagine what this will be like for the listeners. Enjoy yourselves. This is the most stimulating thing you'll come across on the Indian internet. Welcome to another episode of the Ranveer Show. Before this episode begins, I just want to tell you how excited I am to do this particular one because I've actually seen a lot of content of yours, Mr. Boman Irani.
Hey Ranveer, thanks very much. Yeah. I like people who get who are enthused all the time. It's good.
Yeah, like I feel I'm a fellow Zoroastrian at heart. Grown up around a lot of Parsis and Iranis.
You are a Zoroastrian, no?
No, people think I am.
Come on, yeah, just say yes.
Yes,
and end
yes,
the
I am.
argument.
Yes, I am. So, Ranveer is just what I call myself.
We need more Zoroastrians in the world. You know? We are so running short of Parsis, so
Yeah,
so Ranveer Pauri chalega.
for sure. Ranveer Bharucha.
Ranveer
I like
Bharucha
that.
chalega.
So, you kind of play it cool, but you've had an intense story. Your life has been crazy.
It sounds intense because you say it in one go.
As in?
Yeah, it's not that intense.
Oh, you think it was smooth?
It's not smooth.
Okay.
Whose life is not smooth? What makes your story, which was not smooth, special? It's just because I get to face the camera and talk about it.
Yeah.
There are thousands and thousands of people who have fabulous stories. Fabulous meaning unusual stories. Fabulous is a bad word.
Yeah.
And for me, their stories are far more exceptional.
Yeah.
It's just that I have the opportunity to sit with you, Ranveer, and talk about it.
Yeah. I want to rewind to the past of Boman Irani.
Okay.
People know that you worked at your family business early on in life, which was a wafer shop, like it was a chakna shop, basically.
Right.
Then you transitioned into different careers. You
Right.
took up photography. And your story's up on the internet. Like people.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised everybody knows about what I've done or do. Or one thing is important to note that after school, the first job that I actually did was that of a waiter at the Taj Mahal Hotel.
Yeah.
So that I spent a couple of years doing that. I worked in room service and I worked in the bar and it I think these are important exercises. They're exercises.
Yeah.
It just prepares you for anything. Because on Christmas night, if you're sitting and you're pushing about literally 30 trolleys, lining them up and chucking plates and cutlery and crockery and getting into the washing area because everybody's, taking leave on Christmas night and it just prepares you for any kind of hard work.
Yeah. Were you humbled at that phase in your life?
I don't know what humbling is. I think it's, you got to do it. What's so?
That was your attitude back then?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think, I'm so humbled, no, everybody does this kind of work.
Yeah.
My colleague is doing it, the other guy is doing it, that guy is doing it. So what gives me the right to feel, मैं humble हो गया यार ये करने से. इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
Yeah. So
It's a job, you got to do it.
Yeah. My question to you is, you've had so many different careers. You've seen so many different industries. What's
Yeah.
your straight up career advice after all these career switches that you've done and
Right.
considering where you've reached in your life?
Right.
What's your career advice to a young person?
They are going to be the basic bullets. This is not rocket
That's
science
fine.
bullets, okay?
Yeah.
ये तो सुना है हमने यार. तो let it be. सुना होगा अभी एक और बार सुनो मेरे से. No magic bullets. That's the first bullet I'm giving you. There are no magic bullets.
No cheat codes.
There are no cheat codes. There are no shortcuts. And if you want to start from ground level, the first lesson I learned is don't start from ground level. Start from underground level. You got to lay a foundation before you make the building. So I think it's very, very so literally the first job that I got, someone told me, you want to work in the French restaurant? I said, yeah. Aspirational. Sounds good, right? Say, no, start in the basement. Go to room service. You'll earn your stripes there, not there. The stripes are earned down, not when you get the stripes when you become captain.
Yeah. But what were the stripes on a personal level?
Till your feet, the webbing of your feet cracks up, and you feel sometimes that you can't lift your leg to walk. And when it comes to a point where you turn around and say, but I don't have to walk. I'm supposed to run. Believe me, pain, injury, will, all that disappears. You just do it then. Because you got to pick up that tray, you got to smile, and you got to go. You got a rough night. They don't give a damn. They are in a 5-star hotel on Christmas night expecting the best service.
Yeah.
So you can't say, but I can't lift my legs.
You just have to keep your goal in mind and keep going forward.
It's as simple as that.
And I read about this story about, I think the time you were like 32, 33.
Right.
Where you had planned this vacation for your family.
Yeah, I
You
don't
were
know how it's become so well known, this story.
You're planning on going to Ooty with your family.
Yeah.
And I think you landed up at some super random, desolate hotel.
Yeah, badly planned. See, the thing is, it teaches you, if you become responsible to your family, you don't expect to show them the presidential suite.
Yeah.
But you got to give them
A good life.
The basics.
Okay.
If you're taking them for a holiday, make it look like a holiday.
Yeah.
Of course, if with family, it's great because you're together and there'll be togetherness and we can make it work.
Yeah.
The room is not important, but it cannot be a room where there's no light.
Yeah. 100%.
That's depressing. That's not holiday. I got light in my house.
That was a turning point for you?
It was like a turning point for me. I said, no, money and luxury is not the issue. Getting what you set out to do right is the issue.
Yeah.
So if I went out to get a decent hotel with clean sheets and light, I didn't manage that.
So if you didn't manage it, that also means that you did some wrong things before that.
All the time.
So what were those wrong things?
Everything.
Like?
Shortcuts, saying that, just make a phone call. Hum log aa rahe. No. You do some research, plan it nicely, try and see things that are comparative. That was also a shortcut. Too excited to go on holiday, so took the first option that was available to me.
Got it.
You've got to. That's why when I plan my holidays today, I'm travel agents sometimes wonder, my God, this guy is. It's a thing with me. It's become a thing with me.
Got it.
Get it right.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because that was a big turning point for you.
Yeah. See, it's not about luxury and it's not about comfort. It's about getting what you set out to do right.
100%. What were your mistakes in your 20s?
I think when I went to the shop, when I became a shopkeeper, it may have been a humbling experience, and I was very proud to be. But eventually, I worked really hard. But everybody called me Boman Seth. So, and you take that seriously. When you get your promotions, I've been promoted. Oh, now I'm eligible for business class. Hey, take it easy. The perks of the job should never become more important than the job itself. So I took life like, I'm now.
You've made it.
Yeah, but you've not done nothing. You're just doing a job.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing one today.
Yeah. And I mean, you had like a bunch of career switches after that.
Yeah, but again, today,
Yeah.
what am I sitting and doing over here? I'm doing a job. I'm sharing, but I share it right because, of course, we've got a movie to talk about.
Yeah.
But that's a job. Just because your job involves you being on a screen where people, there is a certain amount of love and, what's the word?
Fame.
Yeah, that doesn't make it less of a job. It's a job. And just treat it as a job.
Do you consider yourself a mazdoor somewhere?
In a sense.
Got it.
In a sense.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what gave you that fire to switch and try out acting? I know you had a passion for acting growing up, but
Yeah.
at the age of like, I think around 32 to 35?
Look, it was always a place I knew I'd end up at one stage in my life. I knew I would get there.
A voice told you that, like in your head?
I don't know if it's a voice, but I think even when you're a child, you feel you belong there. I don't know how to say it.
No, I get it.
When I started watching movies as a child, as a very little child, I felt I knew how to make movies.
Got it. And you could do it better, like maybe.
I just knew. This is all. I've seen it before. Maybe in a past life, or maybe I saw it from my mother's womb. I don't know. But I was so familiar with the movies. I was so familiar with the stage, even as a little kid. I was a nervous child who never used to speak too much. But when I went on stage as an 11-year-old to perform in professionally,
it came to you naturally.
Yeah.
Okay. So
like I belong over there.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important for youngsters to know that you belong somewhere, and that calling will pull you there.
And you need to listen to it when it's calling you out.
You need to listen to it.
So what was that moment for you where you were like, wait, hold on, stop, break, let's change paths?
You know, it's so strange. Maybe when I turned to photography, it was the first stepping stone to the visual medium.
Okay.
So maybe that's part of my training.
Got it.
I don't know why I chose photography.
Yeah. It just came to you naturally again at that stage, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I chose photography because I just had an attraction for it. And that I saw still pictures morphing into moving pictures in my head for some reason. It's the other way around. You see moving stuff and you condense it into one still photograph. Yeah. I used to look at it differently. That one fine day, these frames will come handy to me. I don't know if it makes any sense.
No, it does. It does. So let me tell you the perspective from this side of the court.
All right.
As a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, when I went and saw Munnabhai, M.B.B.S.
Right.
After the movie, definitely everyone loved Sanjay Dutt.
Right.
But you were also the guy who stuck in like everyone's heads.
Oh, that's nice.
As Dr. Asthana, with the whole laughing therapy and just your performance on screen. When you were doing that movie, did you realize how much your life was going to change after that?
No.
Okay. No. And it changed after that,
I think another piece of advice, if I am allowed to use the word advice, is don't look at the morning headlines when you're about to kick that goal. If you have an open goal, you first shoot the goal, then finish the game, then party with your friends, and then think of the morning headlines. A lot of commentators always, we missed an open goal. He was thinking of the morning headlines. You know, that's a big, big red flag because you're looking at the celebration. So, no. When Munnabhai came out, we didn't even know it would be such a big hit. Forget about changing our lives. Everyone was affected by that film.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. When on my second or third day of shooting, a unit came to do interviews, and they said, "Raju Singh, jana interview karna. I don't know how to talk. Tu acha bol leta hai yaar." Well, I am in no position. What am I going to talk about that I've been shooting for the last 3 days? There's nothing to talk about. And I didn't do the interview because you've got to be eligible for an interview.
Do you consider yourself eligible today?
Yeah, I think so. Eligible to do interviews for sure. Yeah.
You know, from Munnabhai to Made in China.
Right.
Man, like I've grown up watching you do all these crazy roles.
Blake keeps saying I've grown up watching you. मतलब वो बोल रहा है मैं अभी जवान हूँ और आप बूढ़े हो गए. I know, I understand.
No, it's not that. I still feel like you're my elder Parsi brother.
I'm going to hit you if you say the word elder. Yeah, Ranveer. Just because you got BeerBiceps, you don't think, you know.
No, but for real, again, if someone studies your journey, it's inspiring at every stage. And I'm not just saying that. And I know it's one of those Parsi things to kind of play it cool.
Play it down.
Yeah, it's fine. I
get very awkward. Just now someone came and said, no, he's being... No, I don't know how to listen. I find it awkward to listen to praise. Not that people don't like praise.
Yeah.
But it's a very strange paradox.
You don't know how to react sometimes.
I don't know how to react.
Yeah. Okay. So for this interview, every time I praise you, because that's going to happen a lot.
What do I do?
You can
Sairaj. I'll look at Sairaj.
You can just be like, thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro. Okay, to you.
Yeah.
Okay, try. Chalo.
Yeah. Coming back to like Made in China, it's a movie primarily about entrepreneurship, I feel.
Right.
So actually, Rajkumar said this thing in one of his recent interviews. He said that acting is a lot like entrepreneurship. I have the same question to you. Do you somewhere look at yourself as a businessman who's selling his product, which is the ability to act?
Well, I'm so glad he said what he said because I like a fresh perspective on things.
Yeah.
I always looked at acting very differently. I never looked at it as entrepreneurship. And I'm very interested in knowing what he said. Could you, in a nutshell, tell me?
That, you know, in entrepreneurship, either you're selling a product or a service. And
Right.
technically, as an actor, you're taking out something from inside you, putting it out on screen. So in a way,
Right.
it's a product that you're putting out for the real world.
Right.
And the movie viewers are your consumers, technically. So have you ever looked at yourself?
No.
Never?
No, never looked at it like this. And I'm very impressed that this take I've never heard of before.
But what would you say about the movie made in China?
For me, it becomes a little intimate. No, the process of acting, I'll tell you about.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it becomes a little more intimate in the sense that I take it as a great privilege to be an actor. Not because you're on screen, not because people are going to watch and, people say nice things at the end of the day. Save a critic here and a critic there, and we'll forgive them for it. So especially people do tend to forget the Rotten Tomatoes, and they always remember the ones that touch them. And whenever I meet people, they say, okay, so Munnabhai M.B.B.S for you. Someone said a Jolly LLB for me, or someone said virus for me, and they talk about it, and that's good. But for me, I look at myself with a greater responsibility, not directly to the film, indirectly to the film, to the director, to the makers, to the producer, but directly to the character that I'm going to breathe life into.
Got it.
Because I'm giving birth to a soul, to a heart, to a mind. I become a mother stroke father of the character.
Yeah. Like an artistic amoeba.
You're making a baby.
Yeah.
You're going to see it grow. You're going to see him face the world. You're going to see him laugh. You're going to see it cry. You're going to see it being exultant.
Yeah.
And for you, that's your child.
100%.
You have created it, and only you have created it. You've not created it with man and woman. You've created it by yourself. And for that breath that you put inside another character, you are responsible for it.
100%.
And in turn, that character is responsible to service the story and to service the director's vision.
Yeah.
So when Asthana or whichever the character is, or the character made in China, reacts to something, the character is reacting to a situation, not I.
Got it.
So put it in the character's DNA that if somebody needles you, you control your anger, or you
explode.
Explode. But I, as a parent of that character, have programmed him such.
Got it. So, when I listen to you talking about this, it seems like you put a lot of fire into your work. There's a lot of motive. You're really serious and
It's a
passionate.
privilege, sir.
Yeah, for sure. And the other aspect of this is fame puts you up on a pedestal for the country. Like, people are observing you. Now, as a YouTuber, I feel like my purpose is to put out positivity or to teach people something, put out
Great.
knowledge. What would you say is the purpose of your career? I'm not saying the intention, but what's the purpose? What's the larger thing? What are you doing for society through your films?
On a very basic level, I've never looked at myself as an actor to make me feel great as a creative person. You do feel, creatively, if you've done well, there is some fun in that. But I think, as my mother always says, that you've been given a talent not to feed your ego. Oh, I did this in this particular way and I this method or that. But nobody gives a damn.
Yeah.
What your job is to entertain people, to bring a smile. That's exactly what Miraj may have said.
Yeah.
But I look at it, the talent is given to you not for you to feel good about yourself. Of course you should. But the greater thing is people get a sense of joy and a sense of
Escapism?
bad word.
Yeah. Better word. I mean.
Bad word.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the meaning is the same. I just don't like the word.
100%.
Because if there's escapism you've done, I think sometimes it should stay with you. And then that is why even you as a 10-year-old who saw a movie, it sticks with you.
Yes. Yes, sir.
There has to be something to be said for contemporary consciousness. Why did virus affect us?
Yeah.
Why?
Because everyone could relate to it somewhere.
Why? Exactly. And they relate to it They go back to their childhood. They try and understand what the viruses in their life did to them, made them better or made them worse.
Yeah.
And that's your job, to make people feel, you know what, I overcame that, man. I know of a very, very well-known person who didn't call me for 3 years after Three Idiots was released. And he called me 3 years later. I said, I want to tell you about virus. I said, wow, 3 years, you just saw it? He said, no, I saw it on day one. But I had a virus in my life. And that man used to haunt me in my dreams. And I've overcome that. He terrorized me.
Yeah.
He terrorized me. I said, but you're telling me now. See, because I've overcome it. Thank you for helping me to overcome it. Because I can talk to you. I feel I'm talking to virus. I'm feeling much better now. So I'm not saying you change lives, but it's important that if it has got no relevance to your life, then that character will have no relevance on screen.
Yeah, 100%.
You got to bring that in.
100%. And that's a part of the purpose. That's
part of the purpose.
My next question to you is not related to films in general, specifically about Made in China.
Right.
What made you sign this when you're playing a sexologist?
I think there's a lovely social message that goes out there. And I use this line to say that, if one has a heart problem, you go to a cardiologist.
Yeah.
One has a diabetes issue, you go to a diabetologist or whatever the word is for that, or an ophthalmic surgeon for your eye. If you have a dysfunction, a physical dysfunction in your private life, I think it's important to go to the right
Correct kind of
doctor.
Got it.
And I think that there are two things. One is for treatment, and the other is for awareness.
Got it.
There's such a lack of awareness because it is made into a taboo subject. No, it's got to do with your own body. There's so much confusion and there's so many misconceptions about it. I think this opens it up a little bit, and I think there's a nice way of looking at it.
Got it. It's a good message that's wrapped up
I think it's a nice social message.
Nice.
It's a nice social message.
Coming back to your real life, the real Boman Irani.
Right.
How did money change your life? I mean, the film kind of money. Film, Bollywood money. How did that change your life?
Firstly, I was very happy to be associated with cinema, but that's got not to do with money. Sorry, that's not the question. I think there were two things that I could do, and they're both. Once I made some money. One is, the first time I went to London, I had no money on me. I went because I had to go with a unit. I had no money, and I went to HMV, and I wanted to pick out a DVD of my favorite films, and I picked out two, but I could only buy one. And I said, you know what? I wish I could buy 10, 20, because that's something I really love as a kid, to see all the films that I watched as a kid. If I could buy them and watch all those films and relive my childhood all over again. So I think that's a very simple want for money. And two is, I love traveling.
Got it.
And the first time that I traveled, I travel only on the expense of someone else, because somebody says, you're going for this shoot, or you're going for that shoot, or you're going for this event, and always the producer buys the ticket. And I just said, I would love to travel abroad right in the early days when I didn't have too much money. I can go on my own steam. That's an option that should be with me. The day I can say that I'm going off for a trip like that overnight. And Lagero Munnabhai, by then I had so many responsibilities. I didn't have too much spare cash even during that time. And Munnabhai was being shown at the United Nations, at the UN.
Yeah.
And Raju calls and says, I am New York. Saying, hey, you should have told me. Saying, I would have come. It's Bandra thodi hai.
Yeah.
So he's saying, nahi, main aata hu. When is it? Day after tomorrow. So main aa jata hu. Hello, I just bought myself a ticket and went. That gave me a sense of freedom and to choose and go where you wish to choose, especially to travel. I could go and represent myself, So, of course, the producer did call, Vinod Chopra did call and say, hey, you're going, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. Let us buy the ticket. I said, no, I want to buy the ticket. And money does that to you. It just makes you feel a little worthy.
Yeah.
That's all.
In your own words, I think you scored a goal and you celebrated just for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you came back and started playing again. That's what I feel.
When right now?
No, when these moments like these happen, it's like you celebrating a goal in those moments and then eventually you come back to the shooting space.
You come back to the shooting space.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And then and I love holidays because it brings families together.
Yeah.
We spend time together. And it may be because of that disastrous holiday that I'm still trying to cover up for that one.
I hope this interview is like a turning point in terms of
I
that.
enjoyed myself very much, Ranveer. I really did.
I have a few questions left. for
Please
you.
go for it.
My next question to you is fame. What has fame taught you? Because you got fame kind of later in life. And usually when fame comes early, it messes things up for some people. But I think you got it at the point where you were pretty stable in the head.
I don't know, but fame is a big messer.
Yeah.
So I think I was lucky that the opium of fame didn't give me such a big kick. The opium of fame actually humbled me. I said, either I go and become a nuisance to society, nuisance and someone who can't be, when your own mother, friends or wife can't sit you down and tell you that, what are you doing? You've gone into that orbit where you're unapproachable because you got the tamjam of fame around you. You're gone. There's nothing left.
You see that happening to people in the film industry. Where do you see people going wrong? Like what happens wrong?
It's opium.
Fame is toxic in a way.
It's opium. It's intoxicating on a level where you have no control. So you will be hit by the opium. But it depends on whether you just want to close your eyes and say, take it easy. Let me wake up in the morning and figure this out.
Does it also depend on the people around you?
I think so.
And you've seen like the people who are surrounded by the wrong people get
I think so.
affected
You
by the fame.
just need somebody to whisper on your wrong shoulder.
Got it. And is there anything you really dislike about your own industry? Like it doesn't have to be a person. Like I know you're grateful for it. But
No, I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, but something you'd change.
Honestly, there's too much. There's a lot of good in the industry actually.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a disaster and you see the film industry the first to jump together and kind of
Rally for itself.
also it's an extremely secular industry.
Got it.
Yeah. I'm not good at saying negative things. I can't think of too much.
Let me ask you another question. What have you learned from the film industry that'll stay with you for life?
I think that careers can be ephemeral. They can
Vanish.
And they can vanish for your own fault most of the time. Sometimes not because it's your fault. So it can just vanish. Enjoy it while it's good. Learn a lot and learn something new, because fame softens the sofa.
Yeah.
You sink a little more inside the sofa. If you have learned something new, then you may not require the fame.
Yeah. Got it.
You could just go on and still have a career
Maybe do something else.
within that.
Got it.
Within the confines of the industry.
So knowledge is what will protect you.
Something new I think learning something new and being humbled enough to learn something new.
Yeah.
That's the protection.
Yeah. That knowledge is the protection.
Yeah, because you're on a high and then suddenly, hey man, what happened?
Yeah. Knowledge and humility, I would say.
I think so.
Okay. I want to ask you about your childhood again. You grew up with ADHD and dyslexia.
Dyslexia and dyscalculia for sure, because I'm getting worse by the day.
It's getting worse by the day.
Dyslexia, great improvement. Dyscalculia, numbers, disaster.
But they say that people who have these kind of conditions are also geniuses. And you kind of radiate the bit of that genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, bro. Thank you, bro. You're so
Thank you, bro. No, I don't know if no. It's just that one side of your brain is very strong,
Got it.
freakishly strong. I don't know if that's genius, if that's the definition of genius, but there's certain things that I remember freakishly.
Got it.
Freakishly, it scares people.
Understood. So you can tap into like old memories or something.
Yeah.
That's probably, that comes to use in your acting as well, I think.
Only.
Wow. So
All the
it's kind of
time.
like a secret superpower you've used to.
It is like a power.
Got it.
Superpower, I don't know, but power for sure.
What's your advice to that person in their 30s who's considering a career switch but is too afraid for a career switch?
I always say this. Who made the rules? Bring that guy and make him stand in front of me. Whoever made the rules was not a creative person at all. He decided, I don't know if it's one person or if it is society at large, that decided that certain age, if you don't get married, then you'll never get married. Stupid rule. You're supposed to have kids at this age. Fair enough, you should, whatever. But your career should be kind of decided by the time you're 23, and by the time you're 30, you should be an expert at it. That's a rule. When will you stop and listen to that calling that I mentioned some time ago? There is a calling, and your mind will step out of your mind and go into your ear and will call you and tell you. It will not tell you from here, it will tell you from here. And there'll be a little voice that will tell you from inside. This is where you belong. And if you thought of it as a child, don't let it go. Because you will only live with the regret that you did not do it.
But in those moments, people know about these voices, but they're afraid to kind of take that leap.
Now, fear has been something that,
Stunts careers.
Well, on the other hand, not that I'm saying no to anyone, but if the whole world knows that you sing off-key and you're dying to be a singer, maybe you should give it a second thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Got it.
But, and you say, नहीं मेरा गाना मैं जाता हूँ ऑफ की लेकिन आजकल वो बट करो वो भी करना है ट्राई तो मारो हॉबी बना के करो don't leave everything. So if you're a really off key singer, don't dump everything and say I'm going out there to become a singer.
Yeah.
Your calling was wrong. The reason to become a singer was probably wrong. But I have no arguments with that also.
Yeah.
Karo. Maybe tomorrow people might like to listen to an off-key singer.
Yeah, 100%.
Besura. Yeah. Besura gana kya gata hai yaar? I don't know. There may be a trend tomorrow. I hope not.
Yeah.
But having said that, listen to that voice. Listen to that voice and that calling and say that this is what I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
At least start it as a hobby. How risky is that? Check and see whether you're flying or floating. You got to feel the float.
Yeah, 100%.
If you don't feel the float, then maybe it's not for you. And if somebody says, just put, today, you want to paint, you don't have to give up the world to be a painter. Get somebody, teach, practice an hour every day. And you can put it up on social media and test the waters before you take that big drastic decision of dumping your $1 million job, as you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So, what stops you from trying? I don't understand. What? No. I'm going to be a director next year.
Wow.
I've been learning how to be a screenplay writer for 7 years now.
Crazy. This was in the middle of your acting career.
Now.
Wow.
7 years. I just came back from New York after doing a workshop.
That's a part of your process of getting knowledge.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Learning writing. I don't know whether I'll be good or bad.
Yeah.
That's not important.
Do you perceive this as you challenging yourself, or is it something that just comes naturally to you?
Calling, listen.
Something's telling you to become a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. My question to you...
Why would you just challenge yourself for the sake of... You have to enjoy it. Why will I suffer the challenge? I have to enjoy the challenge.
I think that's something younger people need to pick up from slightly elder brothers. Like,
again, what the hell is this guy, man? Every 5 minutes he says, elder.
So, I think younger guys always perceive everything like with that warrior mentality of, come on, I'm going to challenge myself, I'm going to do it. And contrary to you, you're just saying that, listen to your calling. This is something I enjoy. And why not kind of create...
I'll tell you another problem, maybe again, little advice again, is that you look around you and you see a lot of fame floating around. And you say that, so you want to get there faster. And the first thing that I said, there are no magic bullets and there are no shortcuts. And if you really want to excel in it, you don't start from ground zero level. You start from underground level.
Yeah.
Because you got to build the foundation.
Yeah.
To make a building, you got to dig inside, down, not up.
100%.
So don't look around and say, this guy, man, he's making so much money doing this and he's just, everybody can't do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing a pretty in-depth conversation. You don't have followers because, he's good looking too, I suppose. So, you know what I mean. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
Don't look at other people's fame that's floating around and say, I want to be famous, because the last thing in the world is you want to be famous at the risk of getting it right. Get it right.
100%.
Then enjoy the fame.
After seeing...
Get it right.
Yes, sir. After seeing all of life, what's the most...
Again, he's suggesting I'm an old man. Pura life dekha aapne. Kya lagaya kya hai,
No,
Ranveer?
it comes out of a place of respect. But,
No.
but what's the most beautiful thing about life according to you?
That you can shock yourself with what you're capable of.
Surprising yourself.
Yeah, surprising yourself. Yeah, man, this is great fun to do, man. This is great fun. You see a gymnast. अपने से नहीं होता है, but you see, what are they doing? They're defying gravity, they're defying elasticity, they're defying bones, they're defying chakkar. I don't know how they're doing what they're doing. They have defied the human body to do such beautiful things with it. You can do the same thing with your mind if you don't have a great body.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you can have a great thing with your mind. Is capable of imagining whatever you want to imagine.
If you're to pass on only one human teaching to your kids, what would it be?
Okay, I'll have to say one with 6 things inside,
That's okay.
But one would be, you will never learn anything if you're not humble. And you've not learned anything if you've not applied what you learned. You can't say, I learned it and then show off, I have great knowledge on this. Who cares?
Practical.
What did you apply it on?
Got it. Like the practical experience matters.
Yeah, so just learn something, enjoy it. Don't be pedantic about it.
Got it. 100%.
And ethically done will be the best.
Got it.
And humbly done will be the best. And a lot of actors have come to me, and I'm sounding like an old man now, really sounding like, what do you think? Give me some tips. I say, I can't teach you in 5 minutes, But if you remain humble, you'll take care of your learning, and you'll take care of the opium of fame.
Got it.
Simple.
What should people stay away from in life, according to you?
What should people stay away from life? You can stay close to anything you want, man. Yeah, you stay
Just balance?
Just balance it. Do what the hell you have to. But I genuinely feel
Bootlickers?
bootlickers, maybe they have an ulterior motive there.
Yeah. I think the bad kind of people can absolutely ruin even the best kind of people.
Bootlickers. It's a good piece what you said, bootlickers.
Yeah. And my final question to you is that why should a young person go and watch this film made in China?
Why should a young person go and watch? I think see, again, he's making it of a young person. बूढ़े लोग नहीं जाके देख सकते.
Why?
Yeah.
So my audience is primarily college kids. So you're talking.
See, again, he's shoving it down my throat. My audience also college kids only.
Sir.
तेरे को नहीं लगता?
When I saw 3 Idiots, I got this intuition. A voice told me that don't do engineering, and I still did engineering. So yeah, that's my story about 3 Idiots.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
but I
good.
don't regret it.
No. You've learned something
Yeah,
there.
100%.
But I think this movie eventually, I like a story which has a story layered underneath it.
Got it. A message?
You could call it a message. I don't know if that, but it's an entertaining story,
Got it.
which has a layer below it that To me, it's the story of a man who wants to get some self-worth.
Got it.
कोई तो अच्छा कोई सब लोग they're treating me badly in their family. They're treating me like I'm saying, "ए जाके ये कर ले, ए जाके वो कर ले." My wife doesn't think. And I'm talking about the lead character, Rajkumar Rao's character. Wonderful actor, wonderful actor. And another reason why I wanted to do the film was to work with Rajkumar. It's so nice, you know. It's so nice to work with a wonderful actor like he. So it's an entrepreneur's journey who wants eventually. I've come to the conclusion that all life and all that we do in our lives is about self-worth. You know, feel worthy. You want people to say,
कुछ तो किया life में.
"कुछ तो किया." I think that's what the story says. And then we have my character, Dr. Vardi, who is a sexologist, who is just bringing a little awareness, and he needs me for authenticity.
Got it.
For his product. So that forges the friendship. But I think someone did an interview that and say, you think it's a taboo subject? I said, the moment you call it taboo, it becomes taboo.
Yeah.
It's not. It's about you, your own body that you've got to take care of, relationships, because they can suffer frustrations and then mental problems that can go spiraling out of control.
Got it.
So I think there are a lot of themes in this film.
Got it. Takeaways.
Yeah, there are a lot of takeaways. But it's very entertaining. It's great fun, and everybody wants to see an underdog story.
Got it. Beautiful.
So your young people will enjoy it.
One more question I have for you.
He's asked me 28 one last questions, but I like that, you know. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
This isn't just a podcast for me. It's like a life lesson.
Go for it, buddy.
So, and you're talking to India's future Elon Musk. So I'll write about this particular conversation in my book.
Okay.
But you seem like someone who's always learning. So
Yeah.
on a daily basis, what do you do to keep your brain stimulated?
Lovely. I keep my brain sharp by. There's one misconception about memory. अरे तेरे को बहुत याद रहता. You know how memory works. Memory doesn't work that I remembered something that happened when I was an 11-year-old. I don't think so. It works because you recalled what happened to you as an 11-year-old, when you were a 15-year-old, when you were 18-year-old, when you were 25. So the last memory is what you're recalling, not the 11-year-old memory. So you got to keep your memory always fresh. So whenever somebody says, who was that actor in that movie? Hey, don't tell me. I close my eyes and I try to think that my brain is like a computer chip. And I go, and I will never check it up on the IMDb. I will always fish it out of my head. That helps me to stay sharp.
Wow, beautiful.
So memory is a thing that I value a lot. To keep the mind agile. Learn something new. And stop. You made me speak like an old man because saying advice. Stop behaving and talking like an old man. You know, you gotta. If you're talking to what's your average age?
Like 22.
Speak to 22-year-olds. No, not like a 60-year-old.
Yes, sir.
The moment you say I'm a 60-year-old talking, "Acha to mera," you're gone. Why should you talk like a 60-year-old? I am 60 years old, but why should I talk like I'm communicating with 22-year-olds?
Yeah. I feel like I'm talking to like a 25-year-old.
Finally, kuch acha bola. What's the word?
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro. Finally, kuch mere acha bola.
Yeah, but seriously, thank you, Boman Irani.
Thank you, bro.
This was so beautiful.
Yeah.
My personal favorite podcast till date, actually.
Till date?
Yes.
Thank you, bro.
So,
Blake, what about you? झूठ थोड़ी बोलेगा वो.
So if you could just look at the camera and say, everybody, subscribe to BeerBiceps and watch the Ranveer show.
Everybody subscribe to BeerBiceps and watch the Ranveer show.
Woo! Okay, thank you guys. We'll see you guys later. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.